Gaining strength. Right now, heading into the warm waters of the Gulf. States of emergency across the Gulf, the system already deadly before arriving. 22 lives lost. Preparations underway at this hour, and there are now some mandatory evacuations underway. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee with us tonight, because this will not only hit the Gulf, it will then travel, you say, right up through the country.
Up through the Northeast. And so we've got to watch for flash flooding potential all the way through Pennsylvania, say. But let me take you straight to the map, David, because the Yucatan Peninsula is showing that storm just east of them now. This thing is flying at 21 miles per hour to the north-northwest. Hurricane warning in place for New Orleans, Gulfport, Biloxi, Mobile. Tropical storm warnings extend to Pensacola and even inland there. The brunt of this storm will be felt Saturday night through Sunday morning. That's when it is going to make landfall. Then it speeds up through the Ohio Valley into the Northeast and out by Tuesday. But before that, the impact: storm surge 4 to 6 feet anywhere in red. The Mobile Bay, Gulf Shores up to 8 feet, and then up to 10 inches of rain along the Gulf Coast.
All right, tracking it into the weekend, Ginger, thank you. And in the crosshairs of this storm, New Orleans and the low-lying cities right along the Gulf. Dangerous flooding, and as Ginger just said, storm surge is likely. And this question tonight: are the pumps ready in New Orleans? ABC's Steve Osunsami is there.
Across the Gulf tonight, this is a state of emergency, and they're racing to get ready for this storm.
We're gonna flood. I know we're gonna flood. That's why I'm here. Otherwise, I'd be still at the office right now.
In New Orleans, they're especially worried. A dozen of the city's drainage pumps that they need to keep the city dry aren't working tonight. Teams are out this evening clearing drains. In parts of Orleans, St. Bernard, and Jefferson parishes, more than 1,000 families are being forced to leave their homes.
One of the greatest threats to this storm is not necessarily interior rain, but storm surge.
Billy Ross is leaving tonight. He's moved everything off the ground.
You don't know what the surge is going to do. If you don't pick it up, you lose it. This is like a gamble.
3 feet of storm surge and he's fine. 6 feet, he loses everything. He's expecting 5.
I mean, you only can do so much. You can't run from water, baby.
The storm has already killed at least 11 dead in Nicaragua, 8 in Costa Rica. Dozens more are missing after mudslides washed away homes.
And Steve joins us live tonight from one of those pumping stations in New Orleans. And Steve, you were telling us that those pumps can actually pull out an inch of rain in an hour?
Yes, David, but that's just during the first hour. After that, the ability of a pumping station like this one behind me drops to about ½ an inch an hour. And that's, of course, assuming that all of these pumps are working, which would surprise just about everyone in the city. What that means is that if several inches of rain fall over New Orleans all at once, this city will still flood, even with all of the pumps working properly.
You're thinking about that city and every city along the Gulf tonight. Steve, thank you. We move on to other headlines at this hour, and from Las Vegas, new developments tonight. What drew that hotel security guard to that hotel room in the first place? And even though he was shot through that door, was he the one who stopped the gunman from more bloodshed? ABC senior national correspondent Matt Gutman from Las Vegas again tonight.
5 days after the worst mass shooting in American history, Las Vegas police acknowledging they still don't know what drove Stephen Paddock to open fire on that helpless crowd.
I get it. We all want answers. We have looked at everything.
But tonight we're learning that hero security guard Jesus Campos may have prevented further bloodshed. Police say Paddock had been shooting when Campos arrived on the 32nd floor, responding to a door alarm.
We believe that he was shooting into the crowd, and then the security officer was shot during that event.
Tonight we're learning more about the frantic efforts to save the victims. 48-year-old Doug Carter was attending the concert with his wife Charisse and son Aaron. But in the chaos, they became separated. You see Doug here, dazed and staggering, a bullet in his arm.
I need an ambulance.
The man taking this video, Ray Page, takes him to a makeshift triage center.
Here, stay right here. He's getting shot.
And in the dark there, you hear him mumble about his gut.
My gut hurts so.
When the people helping him pull up his shirt, that light illuminates another bullet hole in his chest.
I do got one?
Police officers comforting him, keeping him calm. Ray Page, who shot this video, then goes to get his truck.
I'm going to try to find medical. I'll be right back.
When he returns, victims piling into his pickup. Ray Page delivering Doug and the others to safety. And it would be 14 agonizing hours until Doug was finally reunited with his family.
Did you even know he was hit? I had no idea until 12 o'clock in the afternoon the next day when we found him in the hospital.
Tonight, his son Aaron is thankful to the heroes who saved his dad.
It's just amazing that there was somebody there to help my dad, and he was actually, I was worried. I thought he was out on the street somewhere. I had no idea.
And Matt is back with us again tonight, and Matt, police are calling that security guard a true hero.
That's right. Police are saying that as that guard neared Paddock's door, it diverted his attention from the crowd below to the hallway. He began firing wildly into it, injuring that security guard. Now, somehow that guard managed to get away and alert authorities. He's being hailed as a hero tonight as the city, David, continues to mourn. There have been thousands of people here at this memorial site all day, David.
Matt Gutman, our thanks to you all week long. And also tonight, what was written on a note found in the gunman's hotel room, as we also learned just how much the gunman made in those casinos in the days before the attack and the millions he made in just 1 year. Here's ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross.
She just returned to the U.S. from the Philippines 2 days ago. But tonight, federal authorities have put a close watch on Mary Lou Danley to make sure she doesn't try to leave the country as they struggle to find the motive behind her boyfriend's crime.
We have no credible information to report to you as to motivation.
FBI agents and police say they are skeptical of her claims that she knew nothing about the plans of her longtime boyfriend, Stephen Paddock. But a family friend who visited them in Nevada says that could well be true, that she was subservient to him.
It's not what I saw as a loving, caring relationship.
Adam Lefevre told an Australian TV station he spent a week with the couple in Nevada in 2015, staying with them in a luxury casino suite, and later at Paddock's home, where Paddock showed off what he called his gun room.
He was very strict and very firm on the fact that it is a right, it is a capacity, and it's the freedom of every American resident and person to participate, to own a gun and use it as seen fit where need be, and that law should never be changed.
Late today, authorities confirmed reports the shooter left behind some kind of a note, which authorities say contained a series of cryptic numbers, but was not a suicide note. Officials are tracking every aspect of Paddock's life back to high school in Los Angeles and earlier, and his recent prescriptions for Valium.
We are looking at every aspect from birth to death of this suspect in this case.
In the final days before the shooting, officials tell ABC News Paddock was seen in the company of prostitutes and went gambling in the Mandalay Bay Casino, winning big jackpots on both Friday and Saturday nights.
And Brian back with us tonight. And Brian, you were telling us that Stephen Paddock called himself a professional gambler, and you're learning just how much he made in 1 year alone.
Yes, David. In the year 2015, he reported income of $5 million.
$5 million. And no motive.
That's right.
Brian, thanks. I hope everyone at home will join us tonight for an ABC News 2020 documentary presentation on the Las Vegas massacre, Heartbreak and Heroes. We have new interviews, new reporting. That's tonight at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. In the meantime, next to the White House tonight, President Trump raising new questions this evening after what he said during a photo op, summoning reporters, telling them this was the calm before the storm. ABC's Cecilia Vega asking the White House today, what did he mean?
In the White House state dining room, this is the image President Trump summoned reporters to see. The president smiling, surrounded by his top military leaders and their spouses. Then came the unsolicited, cryptic comment.
You guys know what this represents? Well, maybe it's the calm before the storm.
What's the storming?
Could be the calm before the storm.
What storm, Mr.
We have the
President?
world's great military people. I will tell you that. And we're not waiting. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
And today in the Oval Office, we tried again. Mr. President, what did you mean by calm before the storm yesterday? What did you mean by that?
Thank you very much.
After a wink and a pause,
You'll find out.
the comment especially ominous as the United States is engaged in a war of words with North Korea, and the president is on the verge of decertifying the nuclear deal with Iran. Or maybe this was just Trump being Trump.
We're never going to say in advance what the president's going to do.
How seriously should the American public or American adversaries, for that matter, take these comments? Was it a joke? Was it serious?
I think you can take the president protecting the American people always extremely serious, and if he feels that action is necessary, he'll take it.
Cecilia Vega pressing the White House for us today. And in the meantime, Cecilia, we also know the administration is moving forward today on a rollback of an Obamacare mandate requiring employee coverage of birth control. An estimated 55 million women have access to without a co-payment. Now there are some exceptions.
Yeah, David, employers will no longer have to offer these health insurance plans that cover birth control if they claim that it violates their religious beliefs or moral convictions. It takes effect immediately. Democrats are calling this a new low. David, Republicans are cheering this as the president making good on a campaign promise.
Cecilia Vega with us on a Friday night. Thank you, Cecilia. To Puerto Rico tonight, and new numbers from FEMA. More than 2 weeks after the storm, just 10% of the island has electricity back. A little more than half now has drinkable water. President Trump marking Hispanic Heritage Month at the White House today, stressing the federal government's commitment and then pronouncing Puerto Rico this way.
We are also praying for the people of Puerto Rico. We love Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. And we also love Puerto Rico.
The president on Puerto Rico tonight. In other news here, we turn next to a police-involved shooting death on video in Charlotte. Authorities say a tragic misunderstanding that left one man dead. Here's ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas tonight.
Tonight, newly released video from a fatal police shooting in Charlotte, revealing how life and death situations play out in just seconds. Early last month, police respond after receiving a 911 call from a Spanish-speaking man who claims he wants to turn himself in. Telling the 911 dispatcher, "I called you to come for me." He acknowledges he has a gun, but says it's empty. With word of a firearm, officers clearly don't take his word that the gun won't be loaded. They move in, guns drawn.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Then the encounter that lasts less than a minute that ends the life of Ruben Galindo. Galindo steps out of the home, his hands in the air, but police see a gun. The gun was in fact empty. Family members concerned that the officers acted too quickly. The police chief is standing by his men. It's now up to a local prosecutor investigating the case. David?
Pierre Thomas in Washington. And from the Pentagon tonight, news a fourth U.S. Special Operations soldier has died in the African country of Niger, his identity not revealed. But tonight, the faces of the three others who died there. Staff Sergeant Brian Blatt from Washington State, Staff Sergeant Jeremiah Johnson from Ohio, and Staff Sergeant Dustin Wright from Georgia. They were ambushed by extremists while on a joint patrol. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Friday. The alleged terror plot here in New York City, the details now revealed tonight. Authorities say the plans included attacks in Times Square and a plan for the New York City subway. The FBI seizing bomb-making materials. We'll have more after the break. A famous Dallas Cowboys star and his son in the news tonight. A campus fraternity accused of hazing him, a bat to the stomach in a culture described as a fight club. Next tonight here, allegations of brutal hazing at the University of Oklahoma. The son of a former Dallas Cowboys star now suing a fraternity, claiming a pledge ritual left him with brain injuries and memory loss. Here's ABC's David Wright.
Tonight, the son of a Dallas Cowboys legend is suing a University of Oklahoma fraternity over an alleged hazing ritual that he says left him with permanent brain damage. Former Cowboy tight end Jay Novacek's son, Blake, is suing Oklahoma's chapter of Beta Theta Pi, accusing the fraternity of violent hazing rituals. His lawyer provided photos of what he says was a fight club, just like the movie, that he says left Novacek with a broken nose. Novacek is suing over another alleged incident.
He was beaten with a baseball bat and knocked unconscious.
He says that incident led to traumatic brain injury and severe memory loss. The lawsuit says that incident took place October 11th, 2015. But the fraternity says Novacek was not even in Oklahoma that day, citing this Instagram photo posted from the Dallas Cowboys game. Novacek's lawyer says his client can't be sure of the exact date because of his memory loss, so they're now amending the lawsuit. The fraternity says it does not condone hazing and calls these allegations false and inflammatory. David?
Our thanks to David Wright tonight. When we come back, breaking news coming in now on the man behind so many movies of our time. He apologized yesterday. Now what's happened tonight? Also the alleged terror plot involving New York City, targeting Times Square and the subway. But authorities are now revealing. We'll be right back. Thank you for watching on another difficult week. I'll see you later tonight on 2020. I'm David Muir. Good night.
ABC News, America's #1 news source.
News Watch 16 at 7 is next.
The Pennsylvania Lottery.
Welcome to the Pennsylvania Lottery, live this evening, Friday, October 6, 2017. Thanks to tonight's witness, Marilyn Zadon. The wild ball number is 5. And now, pick 2. 0, 9. Select tonight's pick 3. 7, 3, 9. Now select the pick 4. 9, 4, 4, 2. Pennsylvania Lottery drawings are independently audited by Zelenkovsky Axelrod. And next, pick 5. 0, 2, 8, 5, 9. And now cash 5. The numbers are 20, 14, 37, 1, 29. And now match 6. The numbers are 42, 19,